What if I told you the film industry is about to experience its biggest shock since sound in 1927, and you only have 5 years to decide whether you lead or get left behind? Right now, 62% of production companies are already using AI. Adoption has been climbing 35% every year since 2018. The market is exploding, racing from $1.8 billion in 2024 to over $14 billion by 2033 at a compound annual growth rate of nearly 26%. This isn't science fiction, it's your new reality. And over the next half-decade, AI won't just change how movies are made, it's going to rewrite who gets to make them, who gets paid, and what creative control even means.
This is Film and TV Career Survival, the show that helps actors, writers, directors, and producers survive and thrive in an industry changing faster than ever.
And before we dive deep, don't forget to grab 2 free resources designed for creators like you.
The AI in Film and Screen Ethics Newsletter, your weekly guide to what's changing and how to stay ahead. And the Ethical AI in Filmmaking Playbook, a practical roadmap to protect your rights and your voice while leveraging AI.
Before we dive deeper, let me quickly plug 2 things that will help you go further. If you're serious about navigating this shift, subscribe to our free newsletter, AI in Film and Screen Ethics. It's where I break down the latest updates, tools, and real case studies. And if you want the blueprint, grab the Ethical AI in Filmmaking Playbook. It's a practical guide that will keep you both competitive and compliant. All right, let's get back to the episode. This one is for the working filmmakers, studio leaders, producers, department heads, indie writer-directors. Anyone trying to rebuild after the pandemic, hold together shrinking budgets, and still deliver to audiences who expect streaming-level quality on impossible timelines. You care about craft, you care about speed, you care about sustainability, and you want access without selling your soul. So today, I'm giving you the full picture. What's happening, where the real risks are, and most importantly, how to turn this upheaval into a career advantage without losing the human heart of cinema. Let's start with the surge. AI in film is already a $1.8 billion market this year and projected to hit $14.1 billion by 2033. 70% of movies already integrate some form of AI into production. 48% of professionals say they use it for scriptwriting, casting, and editing, and investors have already dropped $2 billion into AI film startups in a single year. Among the early adopters, 80% are using AI in post, 77% in VFX, and 71% in pre-production. North America holds over 40% of this market, roughly $500 million as of 2023. Production is leading with 58% share. Machine learning alone takes 35% of the technology slice. Bollywood's adoption has grown 22% just from 2020 to 2023. And in Europe, 38% of studios are now exploring AI workflows. And then there's the generative leap. OpenAI's Sora hit the scene in 2024, text to video up to a full minute long, with cinematic fidelity, camera motion, even emotional nuance in characters. After seeing Sora, Tyler Perry reportedly paused an $800 million studio expansion. Why? Because he could see how quickly the economics of production were changing. Netflix is already testing Runway to accelerate VFX. Disney's been holding exploratory talks. The implication is massive. What used to take concept, previs, and months of iteration can now move to a finished shot in hours or days. And it's not just tools, it's entire production models. Virtual production is scaling fast. That market alone is set to triple from $3.3 billion today to over $10 billion by 2032. LED walls are replacing green screens. During the pandemic, NBC, MTV, and ABC shifted to cloud-based robotic camera setups. Real-time AI characters and facial transformations, think Josh Brolin becoming Thanos, are now being handled live on set. And of course, deepfakes and digital actors are here. Films like Here with Tom Hanks and Robin Wright leaned on AI de-aging. Emilia Perez used voice synthesis to elevate performance. Studios can now resurrect deceased actors, de-age talent, or create fully digital performers, which raises massive questions about consent, likeness rights, and ethics. Now let's talk money. AI is cutting costs by 40 to 90% across the board. In India, 85% of professionals already endorse it, with an average 20% cost reduction, Pre-production that cost 20 crores can be slashed to 5 with AI, scheduling, post down 30%, timelines shorter by 30%, 75% of filmmakers reporting faster delivery, editing time cut up to 40%, animation seeing as much as 90% cost reduction, and Netflix, their recommendation engine alone is valued at around $1 billion per year in retention. AI informs their greenlighting, their script analysis, their post-production, but there's a shadow side too. In a survey of 300 leaders, 3/4 admitted AI is already eliminating, reducing, or combining roles. Over the next 3 years, we're talking about 204,000 positions affected. More than half of sound engineers and voice actors are at risk, 40% of music editors and audio techs, a third of concept artists, illustrators, animators, and the most fragile rungs, the entry-level jobs people use to break into the industry. By 2026, about a third of executives predict 20% or more job cuts, especially in VFX and post where AI is cheapest and fastest. The Writers Guild strike of 2023 forced protections. Writers now decide if or how to use AI, and they keep credit and compensation. But there's still fear. AI first drafts with humans, brought in later to polish, for less pay. And the tech isn't flawless. AI struggles with micro-expressions, spontaneity, and nuanced presence. Clip lengths are short, consistency across shots is hard. Virtual production still lacks physical feedback for actors, and legal risks are huge. Training on copyrighted work, unauthorized digital resurrection, deepfake abuse. Pure AI-only works often aren't copyrightable. So yes, the opportunity is real, but so are the constraints. Here's the good news. If you get intentional, the next 5 years unlock extraordinary creative power. Gartner predicts that by 2030, 90% of online content will be AI-generated. The animation market alone is set to hit nearly $600 billion by 2026, with AI driving much of that growth. We're already seeing NeRFs, diffusion animation, AI physics, GANs, all making high-fidelity worlds fast. VR and AR markets are scaling. Dynamic, adaptive narratives are emerging, films tailored to the viewer's choices. Real-time neural rendering is collapsing review cycles from days into seconds. Teams collaborating live, across continents, in near real time. The shape of the industry is changing. If $200 million tentpoles move to AI-driven online production, tens of thousands of jobs will shift quickly. But for indies, this is your ascent. Outsiders with small budgets and no connections suddenly get to play at studio scale. The future looks less like Hollywood's old hierarchy and more like publishing, single creators, small teams, shipping work that can stand next to the giants. Studios will double down on AI to de-risk, script analytics, predictive box office, automated optimization. Netflix-style AI greenlighting will become standard. But you don't need Netflix's billions to use the same principles. Here's what's democratized right now. Script assistants, automated storyboards, generative VFX and animation, AI-driven marketing and distribution. An entire hour of digital, AI-generated content can cost as little as $829. AI, subtitles and dubbing open global markets instantly. And we've already seen Netflix invest $15 billion into originals informed by AI insights. Proof that human vision combined with AI data beats guesswork. Case studies. Netflix is running a full stack: predictive greenlighting, script analysis, generative VFX and post, personalization worth $1 billion per year. Disney's cautious but moving, using AI in animation, voice, and script aids, while exploring partnerships with tools like Runway. On the indie side, Shy Kids used Sora to make Airhead. Director Sarah Lee sped up script pacing with Jasper, days of work compressed into hours. Globally, the momentum is everywhere. Virtual production is headed to $6.7 billion by 2030. A PAC, China, India, are investing heavily, giving emerging markets studio-grade reach. Europe is trying to balance privacy, authorship, and innovation through regulation. So how do you move from fear to hope? Here's your playbook. First, strategy. Adopt AI, don't abdicate to it. Treat AI as assistive infrastructure with human authorship, taste, and culture in the driver's seat. Second, phased workflow integration. In pre-production, let AI handle ideation and structure, while humans lock theme and authenticity. In production, lean on LED walls, real-time compositing, and AI-assisted camera or lighting setups to cut reshoots and costs. In post, automate assemblies, color pre-grades, audio cleanup, while reserving final polish for human creatives. Third, economics and KPIs. Target 40 to 90% cost cuts depending on genre. Expect 25 to 40% edit time reduction, roughly 30% schedule compression, about 40 hours saved in planning per project. Track your ROI by comparing tool costs with time, quality, and revenue gains. Fourth, guardrails. Be crystal clear about training data, attribution, likeness, and consent. Build policies around posthumous use, and bring in human cultural reviewers to avoid homogenized, tone-deaf outputs. Fifth, talent. Upskill your crews in AI literacy, virtual production, prompt craft, and asset management. New roles are emerging: AI content curators, workflow leads, ethics officers. And finally, pick tools by outcome, not hype. Sora for long, high-fidelity video, Runway for VFX-friendly production features, Midjourney for storyboards, advanced dubbing like Trusync for localization. Always keep humans approving every creative milestone. So here's the distilled truth. The fear is that jobs shift, budgets shrink, and the gap between fast movers and laggards keeps widening. The hope is that with a measured plan, AI becomes the most powerful assistant you've ever had, cutting costs by up to 90%, compressing edits by 40%, accelerating delivery by 30%, and opening global audiences you couldn't reach before. Your 14-day start is simple. Audit one project. Circle 3 tasks to automate, maybe previs, rough cut, localization. Choose 2 tools. Run a 2-week pilot. Measure 3 KPIs hours saved, costs saved, retention lifted. Write a 1-page policy on attribution, likeness, and approvals, and assign an AI workflow lead.
If this episode helped, follow the show, share it with your team, and send me your pilot metrics. Over the next 5 years, AI will either be cinema's greatest catalyst or its most disruptive force. The difference is whether you steer it. And don't forget, subscribe to the AI in Film and Screen Ethics newsletter and download your Ethical AI and Filmmaking playbook to protect your career